Welcome to Global Intel. We decode forces shaping global power. I'm your host, tackling a critical question. Why can't the US afford to lose influence in Latin America? With $1.2 trillion in trade and China's growing presence, stakes are sky high. Is the US losing ground? Hit subscribe, and let's dive into Latin America's strategic importance. Latin America is a cornerstone for US interests. It's a $1.2 trillion trade partner with 20% of US exports, according to America's Quarterly. The region's lithium triangle, Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, holds 60% of global lithium. This is vital for EV batteries. Mexico's $800 million in pharmaceutical exports boost options. Brazil's vaccine institutes like Butantan offer essential supply chains. Proximity amplifies these ties. Shared borders and migration flows connect us. 11 million undocumented migrants, mainly from Mexico and Central America, as per EIU. However, China's trade has surged from $12 billion in 2000 to $500 billion in 2022, according to Foreign Affairs. Ex-posts, like at Disareni, indicate China makes pragmatic deals with regional leaders. We at Global Intel ask, why can't the US afford to lose this influence? 3 factors erode US influence. First, inconsistent engagement. The Trump administration's 2025 tariffs damaged local economies, pushing countries toward China. Biden's limited regional visits and a military-focused aid signal imbalance, per America's Quarterly. Second, China's appeal. Its $138 billion in loans and Belt and Road projects attract many, according to Harvard International Review. Third, Latin America's multi-alignment is notable. Leaders like Chile's Boric and Colombia's Petro diversify ties, as per NYCFPA. Ex-posts, like at Manuel Esceptico, highlight demands for sovereignty. The 2022 America's Partnership for Economic Prosperity doesn't match China's 21 Belt and Road partners. At Global Intel, we see a region slipping away. Can the US reverse this? Recent events enhance urgency. In 2024, US tariffs sparked a backlash. Brazil and Mexico are now eyeing Asian markets, according to EIU. China's 2025 summit with Brazil, Chile, and Colombia deepens their trade ties, as noted by @Marianafil. U.S. warnings on Panama Canal security are perceived as overreach, per America's Quarterly. Venezuela's sanctions have devastated its economy, costing $232 billion since 2015, according to CEPR. Nearshoring brings hope. Mexico's factory boom from U.S. CHIPS Act funds could benefit regional supply chains, as per CSIS. However, Southcom's lithium focus risks militarizing resources. Ex-posts, like at JPS Pinedo, remind us this rivalry isn't our fight. At Global Intel, we see opportunities. Will the US seize them? Losing influence has serious costs. First, security. Central America's narco-violence threatens stability, according to America's Quarterly. Russia supports Nicaragua, Cuba, and Venezuela, filling US gaps. Second, economic impacts loom. Without US integration, Latin America's GDP dropped by 7% in 2020. This is more severe than Asia's drop of 0.8%, according to PMC. Third, geopolitics come into play. China's Digital Silk Road builds telecom infrastructure in Brazil, threatening US tech security, noted by Brookings. A 2020 Pew poll shows Mexico and Argentina favor China over the US, per Inter-American Dialogue. Ex-posts, like at Miquetes-based lament Latin America's pivot to other powers as U.S. pressure seems to fade. Critics argue past interventions feed distrust, according to Irregular Warfare Center. At Global Intel, we question, can the U.S. rebuild trust? The U.S. can regain influence through respectful partnerships. First, boost trade. Renewing USMCA and expanding the Americas partnership can close gaps with China. Second, invest more in development. The U.S.'s 2023 budget for the region is $2.4 billion, much less than Ukraine's $75 billion. Third, honor regional sovereignty. Citizens can advocate for fair trade and support companies like Mercado Libre. Ex-posts, like at Pablo Iglesias, stress growing autonomy, partnership, not control, is essential. At Global Intel, we believe the U.S. can't afford to lose Latin America. Winning requires collaboration, not coercion, in our multipolar world. That's it for today's deep dive on Global Intel. If these stakes sparked your thoughts, give us a thumbs up, share this video, and subscribe for more insights. Drop a comment. Can the U.S. rebuild influence, or is China's rise unstoppable? Follow Global Intel for more, and we'll see you in the next